I know that in this room, and for those listening from afar, there are souls exhausted from trying to be strong. There are unspoken cries. There are why questions where the answer seems to be the silence of heaven. Perhaps you've witnessed injustice, felt the pain of the marginalized, or wrestled with the unsettling reality that the wicked often seem to prosper while the vulnerable suffer. It's easy to feel utterly alone in these moments, convinced that no one truly understands the depth of your indignation or the ache for fairness. But I want us to discover a liberating truth together. God doesn't demand a happy song when our hearts are broken. He hands us a hymn book, and within it are the very notes of lament. He offers a safe space for your raw, unedited emotions, even those tinged with anger or confusion over apparent inequity. We won't shy away from these difficult feelings. Instead, we will learn to transform our very sighs into a prayer, a genuine melody before the Lord. My heart goes out to all who are silently hurting. You are not forgotten, and your pain is acknowledged. Now, having acknowledged the initial dissonant notes of our pain, let's explore how the Psalms, specifically Psalm 10, compel us to speak up for the oppressed and forgotten, and to seek God's justice. Have you ever looked at the world and wondered, why does God seem so far away? When evil prevails, this psalm courageously confronts the issue of the wicked's arrogance and their oppression of the vulnerable, while also expressing the psalmist's deep yearning for God to act. It's a powerful and honest cry for divine intervention on behalf of those who cannot defend themselves, highlighting God's ultimate role as the defender of the defenseless. Unchanging promise. Psalm 10, verse 17 to 18, NIV. You, Lord, hear the desire of the afflicted. You encourage them, and you listen to their cry, defending the fatherless and the oppressed, so that mere mortals may no longer strike terror. This verse assures us that God hears the cries of the suffering and will act to bring justice, providing hope even when human solutions fail. Story of overcoming. Consider the abolitionists who fought against slavery. They drew immense strength from scriptures like Psalm 10, believing in a just God who would ultimately champion the cause of the oppressed, inspiring them to persevere against overwhelming odds. Step of faith. This week, identify one instance of injustice, no matter how small, and lift a prayer based on Psalm 10 verse 17 to 18, asking God to intervene and empower you to be a voice for the voiceless. As we transition from the urgent plea for justice to the comforting embrace of divine protection, let's turn to Psalm 91, a magnificent anthem of God's unwavering shield over our lives. If Psalm 10 empowered us to advocate for the oppressed, Psalm 91 is the reassuring melody of His personal presence and sanctuary. Have you ever yearned for a secure dwelling? A place where you are absolutely safe from life's perils, a haven from unseen dangers and overwhelming anxieties. This psalm promises just that, a dwelling place under the Almighty's shadow, a fortress against every threat, seen and unseen. It speaks directly to our intrinsic need for safety and peace in a world that often feels precarious, especially when we stand up for what is right. Unchanging promise. Psalm 91, verse 4, NIV. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. This beautiful imagery assures us of God's tender and formidable protection. Like a mother bird sheltering her young, God provides a secure refuge, a place where no harm can ultimately reach those who dwell in Him. Story of overcoming. Think of individuals who, despite living in dangerous regions or facing threats for their beliefs, found an inexplicable peace and courage. They often cite Psalm 91 as their source of comfort, trusting in God's sovereign protection, even when surrounded by adversity. Step of faith. When you feel exposed or vulnerable in your pursuit of justice, take a moment to visualize God covering you with His wings and declare Psalm 91 verse 4 aloud as a personal prayer for protection and peace, trusting in His unfailing presence. Having explored both the courageous advocacy for justice in Psalm 10 and the secure embrace of His protection in Psalm 91, we now transition from the initial notes of fear and uncertainty to a powerful crescendo of unwavering trust and confident assurance. The journey through these psalms isn't about ignoring the harsh realities of injustice or pretending dangers don't exist. Instead, it's about channeling those concerns into a profound dialogue with our Creator, allowing His truth to slowly retune our hearts. It's realizing that because God is both the just judge and our faithful protector, we can stand firm, anticipating His deliverance and celebrating His ultimate triumph over evil. Perhaps you've begun to feel a subtle shift in your spirit, a growing whisper of courage where there was once only apprehension. Unchanging promise. Psalm 10 verse 1, NIV. Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? This raw, honest question, though filled with apparent doubt, ultimately leads to a deeper trust in God's hidden work and eventual vindication. It highlights that God does not abandon us, even when He seems silent. Story of overcoming. Consider Nelson Mandela, who, despite years of unjust imprisonment, held on to hope and a belief in justice. While his struggle was human, his unwavering spirit mirrors the psalmist's persistent cry, ultimately leading to a form of triumph and restoration. Step of faith today. If you are struggling with God's apparent silence or delay in a situation, write down your why question and then immediately follow it with a declaration of trust in His character, as if you are moving from the question to the answer within Psalm 10. We have journeyed together through the initial dissonant notes of pain and uncertainty, found our voice in advocating for justice through Psalm 10, sought refuge under the protective wings of Psalm 91, and moved towards a steadfast declaration of trust and confident assurance. This journey through the Psalms is a testament to God's willingness to meet us exactly where we are, transforming our fragmented melodies into a powerful symphony of healing and hope. You have courageously confronted injustice, embraced the security of His protection, and found a pathway to renewed strength and zealous purpose. Declaration of hope. No matter what the melody of my life may be, I still believe You are the conductor. Even if I cannot see the light, I still believe You are my song. Lord, You are my strength, and You are my psalm. I invite you to come to the Lord, allowing Him to reharmonize your soul and grant you His profound peace. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May He lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. May you find renewed strength, abiding peace, and a fresh song of hope that rises above every circumstance, knowing that He is the defender of the oppressed and your refuge in every storm.